In the last 6 years, I've sold over $1.75 million in window cleaning jobs, and my team has done a collective $4.5 million from literally knocking on people's doors. You've seen the highlight reels on TikTok, Instagram, and all the success that me and my brother have been able to have from this business model. But today, I want to give you a raw behind-the-scenes look of exactly what I had to go through to get here. My name is Josh Lester, and this is my story. Growing up in Canada, I started playing hockey at the age of 2. So up until I was 18 years old, playing in the NHL was pretty much the only plan I really had. I didn't do extracurricular activities, I didn't care about school or even my grades. All I did was I played hockey. My parents got divorced when I was pretty young, so even though my brother and I didn't get along at all, we spent a lot of time together as kids. In fact, my very first job was selling 50-50 tickets at a football game, and he brought me out to it. I was 16 years old, I had never made any money, and my brother had been doing it for a few weeks on Fridays, and he said, "You can come out, you'll make $50 a night." My first night ever working, the ink ran out in my printing machine. So for 45 minutes, I was trying to print receipts for people that were giving me money that weren't valid tickets. So I ended up giving everyone their money back, but I was still printing tickets and the system thought I was given money. So by the end of the night, I was short $750. And what does the manager think? That some 16-year-old kid stole from them. So the first time my brother ever brought me to work, I got him and myself fired. And that was the last job I ever had before I started knocking doors. Following the firing, my brother worked at random restaurants cleaning dishes. Until one day he found an ad on Craigslist that said, "Make $1,000 knocking doors." And he was just kind of that one idiot that thought, even if I could make $200 in a day, I'm still making more money. I'll try it out. He worked for that company for a few months and the owner brought him under his wing and taught him everything he knew. And once Oliver outgrew his mentor, he left off, thanked him for everything, and started his own business. I ended up working for the same company my brother worked for, and then broke off to work for my brother when he left. For the next 2 years, I worked extremely hard and learned everything I could about exactly how to sell in the doors. And as a result, I got really good at not only sales, but I got amazing at recruiting. I ended up working for my brother for 2 years, and I realized I was really good at recruiting and convincing people to join the opportunity, which is something that my brother wasn't really amazing at the time. He was just an amazing salesman. After a couple years, me and Oliver clearly realized we had similar skill sets, but very different skill sets at the same time. While Oliver and I were both really good salesmen, we each had our own strengths and weaknesses within the business. So a couple years in, we penciled out each of our responsibilities and we decided to partner on the business. But there were a lot of uncertainties at first. I dropped out of high school, Oliver dropped out of college. Everyone kind of thought we were crazy. And on top of it, I was a 19-year-old kid with bleach blonde hair and braces. I was worried that since I was so young, people just wouldn't respect me. In some cases, I even thought a lot of the men didn't want to respect me. But since I was able to sell 2 to 3K a day in front of all of their faces, they had no choice. I was always a really good salesman, but when I became a manager and started running a big crew, that's when I really leveled up. You've probably seen the video of me disarming 3 grown men in the street. I did that as a 19-year-old kid, again, with bleach blonde hair and braces. And I learned all of those skills just from managing a door-to-door team. Everything was going good until the pandemic hit in 2020. Then things started to go great. The whole world shut down. The government sent out letters saying cleaning businesses, they had to shut down. We thought all of the money, all the time, all the energy into bringing people into our house was gone, but I was wrong. All the guys we had the previous years were begging to come back, or their friends begging them to put in a good word. We had created a gold rush, and everyone wanted in on it. So while the rest of the world was locked in their houses, each of my guys was banging on 100 doors a day, making over $800. Even in the worst of times, my brother and I pulled it together and had the best year we ever had. We ended up doing over $1.7 million in sales in just 4 months, despite the world going crazy. Not only did this give us confidence in door-to-door, but it taught me that if I could sell window cleaning in a worldwide lockdown, I would never be poor again. We had multiple 20+ man sales teams across Canada, and in one location, we even had 22 people living under one roof. It was basically a frat house, and it was the most fun we ever had. Every day, it blows my mind more and more that people are still looking for online money-making opportunities, when with a little bit of practice, you could go out, knock on some random doors, and go home with a couple grand cash in your pocket. It might be one of the most simple businesses on earth. 6 years ago, before it all started, I pooled 2 years worth of birthdays and Christmas monies so I could buy a $950 1991 Buick Riviera. And now, sometimes I make that before 10 a.m. The reason I'm able to appreciate nice cars, nice vacations, nice restaurants is because I didn't do those things before. Yeah, my mom took me on vacation, but I never had a nickel to my name. I went from begging my mom to give me money to go for food to taking care of the bill. I'm not special. I'm probably just like you. We both wake up in the morning and we both probably work really hard. The difference is I just work hard at the right thing. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how old you are, what race you are. It just matters how many times someone can slam a door in your face and you just keep going. So if you resonated with my story at all, hit the subscribe button because I'll be sharing everything I've learned about building my window cleaning business right on this channel. If you're that hungry kid like I was a few years ago, looking to get your first taste of real money outside of your minimum wage job with window cleaning, then there's a link in the description for you to check out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.